Lesson 58 is about percent word problems. Kathy, John, and Susie have only 20 chickens left. That implies that they began with more. If they began with 80 chickens, what percent of the original flock remains? What I like to do in these is to make a tic-tac-toe. We've done this with many other word problems. Okay. In column 1, we have the label. In column 2, the percent. And in column 3, the numbers that we're dealing with. So it says remains. There were 20 chickens that remained, that were left in the flock. Okay, this is the important word here, left. Okay, and I need this, my pen. That's the important word. Remains means left. So 20 were remaining. They started with 80. That means right away this is the total or the original number. We can find this number by saying 80 minus 20, and that would be 60. What the chickens that remain and the chickens that are gone have to add up to what she had originally when they began, which was 20 chickens. Okay, 100% always represents the original number or the total number. We want to know what percent of the flock remains. This is what we're trying to find. So we're going to put our X right there. We're going to cross out this line. We don't need it. And we're just going to set up our proportion. X over 100 equals 20 over 80. We're going to cross multiply. We have 80x equals 100 times 20. We're going to divide through by 80. And that should give us x, this cancels out here, x equals 25%. Okay, so this is 25%. We can also find the percent of the flock that left, that went away, by subtracting 100 minus 25. That gives us 75% of the chickens are gone. And that's how we do that lesson. Okay, that example, I mean. Okay, no, example number 2. Mimi and Jim have 75 thingamabobs. They want to give Hal 20% of them. How many thingamabobs do they give Hal? Well, right now they have 75. That's the total before they give any away. Right here. They're going to give away 20% to Hal. That means that they're keeping 80%. We want to know how many they give to Hal, so our X is going to go by give. We don't need to use this line of it, and we set up our proportion. We do 20 over 100 equals X over 75. 100 times X then equals 20 times 75, which would be 1,500. We divide through by 100, and we get 15 for X. So they gave 15 to Hal. If we do 75 minus 15, they still have 60 marbles left for themselves. This is our answer, however, because we wanted to know how many did they give to Hal. Okay, the next one. Bo and Christy hide 600 raisins. This is 60% more than they had last month. Okay, this is a little bit different. This is a percent of increase. Okay, the original number that they had last month is 100%. The increase is 60%, and the new amount is going to be 160% of the original amount that they started with. They hid 600. We want to know what they hid last month. which was the original number. We don't need this. We put 160 over 100, and it's going to equal 600 over x. We're going to cross multiply, and we're going to get 160x equals 600 times 100 is that. We're going to divide through by 160, and whatever you get, you can do that on your calculators, is the answer for x. Okay. Caesar's legion had an oops, sorry, I missed page 4. These are the practice exercises. Jane and Faye have 32 bagatelles left. Okay, so in our labels column, we're going to put left and gone, like we did with the first problem. These two have to add up to the total or the original number of bagatelles that they had left. Okay, the percent. We don't have any percents, but we know that the total or the original is always 100%. Okay, they have 32. This is the number that we're dealing with. 32 bagatelles left. That goes here. And the original number is 160 bagatelles. We want to know what percent of the original number remains. So this goes by left or remains, just like the first problem that we did. We're going to put x over 100 equals 32 over 160. We're going to cross multiply. 160x equals 3200. We're going to divide through by 160, and that goes, and 16 is going to go into this 20, so 20% are left, and that means that 80% were sold, eaten, given away, and if we subtracted this, we'd have 128 was that number that was sold, eaten, or given away. Remember, the two parts have to add up to the whole. Okay, our next problem is Caesar's legion had an inventory of 2,400 pairs of thongs. Now that is not underwear. Those are sandals, okay, that they used to wear on their feet. Label, percent, and number goes in the last column. If they normally wear out 30% of their supply, that should be, not suppy by, of their supply by the end of the fiscal year, how many pairs of thongs remain at the end of the fiscal year? Okay, so this would be the total pairs of sandals that they have. They wear out, okay? So the worn out part, that's 30%. And the not worn out, I'll just do NWO, not worn out, standing for that. And this is 100%. That means this would be 70. These two, remember, have to add up to the total at the bottom. Okay, this is what they had to begin with. That's the total or the original amount of pairs of sandals or thongs that they had. Okay, we put that here. We want to know how many remain. How many did not wear out? So our x now is going to go here. We had to figure out the 70 to figure out how many did not wear out or remained at the end of the year. Okay, so we're going to do 70 over 100 equals x over 2400. You're just going to cross multiply. You're going to get 100 times x equals 70 times 2400. And then you're going to divide that product by 100. You can do the work right on your calculators. Okay, Christopher and Chad collected 40 items. When they added Kathy's items, their original total increased by 150%. Okay, this is where we put our original down at the bottom where the 100% is. This is the original amount that they had before adding Kathy's. Then they're going to add Kathy's, and and the increase is 150%. Okay, and remember, this is our labels column, and this will be their new total. Okay, up here. That's going to add up to 250%. Okay, so now we have our numbers here. We don't have any other numbers. We want to know what's the new total, so we don't need to use this line. We're going to put our X up here. We're going to put 250 over 100 equals X over 40. And we're going to cross multiply again. We're going to have 100X equals 40 times 250. And then we're going to divide that by 100. And you can do that now right on your calculator. This concludes lesson 58.